Hello, hello, hello. Mic test 1 2 3. Hello.
Good evening to everyone and welcome to today's session. Amrit, Ranjit, Arun, and Murali and many more who are all online. Welcome to the free YouTube session on NEETPG prep and let's start with the physiology. We had been discussing physiology and let's start today with the quiz. Mohan Singh, Dream PG, Amrit and many more. Yes. Start unfolding your fingers and then punching your answers. First, let us play the quiz and after that we will go to the class. The biochemical role of the vitamin K in the post-translational modification of the clotting factors. What is the mechanism? Very good. Mohan Singh, Ranjit and Amrit, you're all strong about carboxylation, which is correct. These are all true about the serum, except what? With regard to the serum, what is true and what is a false statement? Should you answer, doctor? That's right. It is a gamma carboxylation which is being mediated by the vitamin K is all what you need to remember. The serum has clotting factors. How does serum differ from that of the whole blood plasma? You should be very, very sure about. Question number 222. Can you please shoot your answer? With regard to the serum, how is the serotonin content in the serum, etc., etc. These are all the important issues for the examiner. Just unfold your fingers, stretch your elbows, and start punching your answers. I like to challenge every day, and I want you to read at the end of this challenge. That is the whole purpose of these everyday motivation with Dr. Murli Bharadwaj on YouTube. So Ranjit is proposing constitutes 5% of the body weight is wrong, bol rahe. That's right. So it does not clot. It has a higher serotonin content and it lacks the clotting factors is all what you have to basically remember. So Pradeep is bit lost about serotonin, but you should remember Pradeep, serum has a higher serotonin content is what you have to remember. All these proteins are synthesized by the liver, except what? It is not synthesized by the liver is my question to all of you. Question number 223. Should your answer, okay? Yes. Right. Question number 223. Saurav is thinking C and von Willebrand factor. That's right. Von Willebrand factor is produced, is present in the Weber-Palade bodies. Absolutely right. So antithrombin 3, haptoglobin, chemopexin, they're all produced in the liver is what you should remember. Now during second trimester of pregnancy, fetus may erythropoiesis. Where do you see the erythropoiesis in the fetus? In the second trimester of pregnancy should be your answer. So I'm very happy to see 36 online students. Yes. Pradeep is proposing liver, triple helix also, Amrit also. That's good. Most of you are very sure that it is liver. Absolutely. So it is the liver where you find during second trimester the erythropoiesis happen. Now, it is not a function of albumin is a very important question. Albumin का काम नहीं होता है, which is not a function of albumin. Question number 225. Should you answer, doctor? Yes. So albumin has a lot of functions. It maintains the osmotic pressure, colloid osmotic pressure of the plasma. And the moment you are having albuminuria, nephrotic syndrome, that is the main underlying problem. So Amrit thinks, Khalid thinks, Sudha thinks, everyone is thinking solubilization of the glucose is not its function. Absolutely. Osmoregulation, hormone transport. That's the reason certain hormones, their hypo and hyper conditions will occur if there is any hypoalbuminemic state or if you are having cirrhosis or nephrotic syndrome is what you have to remember. Now, what is the main mechanism causing the heat loss from a normal person when the environmental temperature अगर 21 degrees Celsius हो गया तो what is the main mechanism causing the heat loss from a normal person is a very important question. Question number 226. Should your answer, doctor? Yes, that's right. pregnancy, cirrhosis, sick euthyroid syndrome, all these things you have to be 100% sure. And Shalini is proposing convection. Sudha also is saying convection. Very good. And but it is a radiation, which you need to remember is the most effective mechanism causing the heat loss from a normal person, is what you need to remember. Now, what leads to the development of shivering? अगर shivering हो रहा है तो what is the main underlying mechanism for the development of the shivering is my question to all of you. Question number 227. Yes. Shivering is basically caused by what? Yes. So, Pradeep is proposing A, okay. Shalini also thinks anterior hypothalamus is shivering. Please remember, Shalini, cold is controlled by posterior hypothalamus. अगर आपको शिवरिंग हो गए तो कहाँ होता है? स्पाइन के अंदर होता है, राइट? एंड अगर आपको बहुत स्वेटिंग हुए तो all your chest will sweat, right? So anterior hypothalamus is for sweating is what you need to remember. So posterior hypothalamus पीछे पीठ के अंदर shivering होता है. सीने के ऊपर you will get pasina. So that's the reason you remember heat is anterior hypothalamus, shivering is posterior hypothalamus, a simple mnemonic which you need to remember. Very happy to see 46 online students across the country, and I will be very happy to see many more joining every day evening. Slowly students are all recovering from the NEETPG blues, and yes, sometimes to accept that those silly mistakes we do in the exam is very challenging situation. I know that very well how you feel, some of you will feel, right? So it doesn't matter, jo ho gaya so ho gaya, raat gaye beat baat gaye, and we need to restart once more. Amrit, from tomorrow onwards we will have the 5 mnemonics every day. Don't worry on that. Today has been too much a hectic day for me. Now, plasma protein, which is not synthesized primarily in the liver, which one is not synthesized primarily in the liver, is my question to all of you. Yeah, should you answer, doctor? लिवर में तैयार नहीं होने वाले प्लाज्मा प्रोटीन इन सब चीजों में कौन है, और वो लंग में तैयार होने वाला चीज कौन है? बढ़िया. शालिनी, Bhubaneswar, Bhaskar, very good. Bhaskar, you are from which part of the country, which medical college or which city, and what is your dream branch, right? So today Bhavishya did not attend, and Bhavishya is in second year but attending every day. I am very happy. She is joining she is our future topper. So it is angiotensin converting enzyme. Lung is the one which is the primary site of the synthesis, as already we discussed. What is the normal plasma osmolarity is my question to all of you. Badhiya, Bhubaneswar is from Chhattisgarh. That is Raipur ka Chhattisgarh, right? Raigad is also there in Chhattisgarh, or Raipur. So that's good. I used to, from Hyderabad to Raipur, there used to be a direct flight. I used to go and deliver the class in the good old days when technology was not there. So today technology is there. Teacher need not fly everywhere, and students can sit anywhere, and we all can join this wonderful YouTube broadcast, and we can be able to meet, talk, fight, discuss, debate, and get inspired to go back and prepare. That's good. Raigad, very good, very good. Raigad is also in Chhattisgarh. So Bhubaneswar Oscar should make all his classmates take this link and put it in your YouTube and Facebook, all groups wherever you are there, saying that there is a free class every day evening, and then promote my students are my ambassadors who will promote. We don't engage marketing executives or we don't do some commercial coaching tamashas. So I always say our students need us and we need our students. So that's how we will be in a position to deliver the service all the time, right? That's good. Now, doctor, normal plasma osmolarity is 275 to 300 is what you have to basically remember. The chief intracellular ion क्या होता है? सेल के अंदर रहने वाला, और extracellular ion is which one is my question to all of you. Yes. So Irfan is proposing potassium. Most of you are very sure that it is potassium. That's good. It's an easy question relatively. Yes. Extracellular is predominantly sodium is what you need to remember. So what is the half-life of the serum albumin is my question to all of you. Question number 231. Very good. Serum albumin, transferrin, these are some of the important proteins. Their half-life need to be known because they are the markers of certain chronic malnutritional states. So I'm saying most of you betting on 10 days, but Manoj and Sudha are proposing 21 days. Computer Mahoday ko puchenge how many days? It is 21 days is the half-life of the serum albumin is what you need to remember. Serum bilirubin, what is it basically composed of? What does serum bilirubin contain? Question number 232. Should you answer, doctor? Yes. Serum bilirubin is composed of what? 232. Yes. Does it contain conjugate? Is conjugate called direct? Unconjugate is called direct. What is called direct is a very important question. So most of you are betting on B, conjugated plus indirect reactant bilirubin. There is also delta bilirubin also, which completes the total bilirubin is what you should fundamentally remember. I am seeing most of you A and B, but none of you guessed it as C. That is the power of examiner, right? Now, Peyer's patches, Panet cells, yes, so Peyer's patches, where do you see is an important question. Peyer's patches. Yes, doctor. Question number 233. Should your answer? Yes. Vijay Lakshmi is saying ilium, right? And Anand Mahato is proposing duodenum. So everyone is juggling between duodenum and ilium, ilium and duodenum. So it is the ilium where you find the Peyer's patches. What are the functions of oxytocin is my question to all of you. Oxytocin kya karta hai? What are all the functions of oxytocin? One of them is not the function of the oxytocin, but that of the prolactin. So, which is that which is not that of the oxytocin. Very good. Pradeep Reddy, Amrit, and everyone, milk production is the function of the prolactin is what you need to remember. The rough and the smooth texture of the surface, basically which kind of receptors detect rough and smooth texture of surface is a very, very important question. Question number 235. Should you answer, doctor? Yes. MedQuest is proposing roughness and organ. Okay. Maunika thinks Masoners. There is a beautiful mnemonic we proposed for the sensory receptors. Now we are preparing the playlist on the YouTube channel so that you can go to mnemonics playlist. We'll be adding more and more mnemonic videos into that. Yes. So I can see A versus D versus B. It is the Meissner's corpuscles is what we need to basically remember. Now, with regard to the hormones and their mechanism, कुछ हार्मोन्स के लिए को tyrosine kinase is a secondary messenger or a receptor. For some hormones, cyclic GMP, some acts on the nuclear receptors, some act on the cytoplasmic receptors. अभी फटाफट बोलो आपका राय क्या है except about this question. Anand Mahato is proposing C. Okay, and yes, is proposing C. Ranjit is proposing A. Yay, Ranjit, be very sure. Very basic question. Tyrosine kinase and insulin अगर हम भूल गए तो we are completely clean board in this topic of receptors. Immediately जाके आप यू मेडिको में वीडियो लाइब्रेरी में रिसेप्टर्स के टॉपिक को अच्छा मसाज करना, एकेडमिक मसाज करना पड़ेगा. That's right. So angiotensin 2 and cyclic AMP is wrong. Remaining are all true. Remember, atrial natriuretic peptide and increase the cyclic GMP level. You should not basically forget. Now, GM-CSF can stimulate all the cell lines except what? GM-CSF can stimulate all the cell lines except. Question number 237. Shoot your answer, doctor. हाँ. परितोष, जीना किसके लिए व्यर्थ है? जीना व्यर्थ है. So, yes. Is it a mnemonic or what? So, most of you are saying B versus C. Manoj is betting on erythrocyte. Sir, it is a colony stimulating. I think erythrocyte should be the correct answer, not the monocyte. Just please let us recheck this answer. As far as I remember, it should be erythrocyte. Let us check it back. Now, what is the mechanism of action of nitric oxide? Through which second messenger does nitric oxide function? Is my question to all of you. Question number 238. Shoot your answer, doctor. Yes. I can see 238. Ranjit is on B. Saurav also says B. Most of you are saying cyclic GMP. Absolutely right. Nitric oxide, atrial natriuretic peptide, cyclic GMP is something which you should not forget. Interleukins. Interleukins का एक गर्मा गर्म निमोनिक बना के दे दिया आपको. Interleukin, which is involved in the anaphylaxis, IgE के साथ कौन सा interleukin को संबंध है? Question number 239 is my question to all of you. If you missed this question, if you answered this question wrong, doctor, ये YouTube में mnemonics बोल के है, उसमें one of the mnemonic video was interleukin. इसका revision करना पड़ेगा आपको. So very happy to see 60 online students. Wonderful. So today only around 200 final years and house surgeon students in Hubli Medical College and Harvard Medical College. They are going to join tomorrow for this evening session. Slowly different colleges students will be joining and हमारा संख्या बढ़ेगा शाम और मजे करने के लिए. Yes, so you should remember interleukin 4 को E के जैसे लिख सकते हैं. अगर आप 4 को ट्विस्ट करें तो जरा ऊपर नीचे एक मार दिए तो E हो जाता 4. right? So IgE is anaphylaxis. हम निमोनिक में गर्मा गर्म बोले, आप रिवीजन करना पड़ेगा उस निमोनिक को. Purkinje cells are what? Purkinje cells. Should your answer, doctor? So 20,000 points रहता है डॉक्टर. पूरा MD एंट्रेंस का माल जो होता है, एग्जामिनर इज एक्सपेक्टिंग यू टू नो, टू लर्न. उसमें 5,000 चीजें होते हैं. आप निमोनिक बना के रिपीटेडली रिव्यू करें तो करने वाला चीज 5,000 होता है. 15,000 things are the ones which are logically एक मर्तबे आप रिवीजन करें तो जिंदगी तमाम आंसर कर सकते. सो जो मगिंग करना है उसको एक गर्मा गर्म निमोनिक बना लेना. जरा यू मेडिको ऐप के अंदर रेगुलरली नोटिफिकेशंस एंड रिमाइंडर्स रख देना, रिवीजन करना. और ये लॉजिकल चीजें जो होते हैं उसको समझ लेना. डायबिटीज इंसिपिडस इज ए डायूरेटिक कंडीशन, बट व्हाई डू वी यूज थायराइड टू ट्रीट डायबिटीज इंसिपिडस? थायराइड इज आल्सो डायूरेटिक. एक डायूरेटिक को डायूरेटिक कंडीशन में इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं. सिमिलरली रीनल ट्यूबुलर एसिडोसिस टाइप 1 वर्सेस टाइप 2. अगर टाइप 1 है तो डिस्टल रीनल ट्यूब्यूल इज डैमेज एंड दोस पीपल हैव ए टेंडेंसी फॉर रीनल स्टोन्स, but not those who have type 1, that is a proximal renal tubular acidosis. They don't have, those who have type 2 where proximal renal tubule is damaged, they don't have renal stone tendency. इसमें क्या होता है? लॉजिक होता है. जिसका लॉजिक है, आप मुरली भारद्वाज एंड द अदर फैकल्टी who will be delivering the classes and already video library में पूरा लॉजिकल बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस को हम डिस्कस कर चुके. तो उसको रिवीजन करना. 5,000 जो ये निमोनिक बट्टी वाला चीज रहता है ना, उसको प्रॉपरली नोटिफिकेशन डाल देना वो पावर पॉइंट स्लाइड्स को यू मेडिको ऐप में. बस आपको सीट आ जाएगा. ठीक है. नाउ Purkinje cells are basically multipolar cells is what you need to basically remember. Flickering of the eyelids. कुछ लोगों को eyelids will be tuck 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 like a punchy wings. It will be flickering. What is that basically called? Question number 241. Should you answer, doctor? Yes. So good to see 61 online students. From tomorrow I am going to give you an link. You should start posting that link in all your Facebook groups and help to get this everyday evening session popular concept. YouTube में free coaching है, popular concept across the country. 1.5 lakh medical students prepare for the apply for the NEETPG exam, doctor. Most competitive exam, but let me tell you, 1.5 million लिखते हैं नीट यूजी को. नीट पीजी क्या है? खाली 1.5 lakhs. 10 times कंपटीशन को आप ब्रेक करके डॉक्टर्स बने. अभी पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन का कंपटीशन इज नॉट दैट बिग. सो आई वांट यू, एवरी वन ऑफ यू, टू प्रॉमिस मी दैट दिस इज माई ड्रीम. मैं खाली पीडियाट्रिशियन बनना चाहता हूँ, मैं नियोनेटोलॉजिस्ट बनना चाहता हूँ, मैं कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट बनना चाहता हूँ. एक प्रॉमिस कर लीजिए and work for that and you should become that. No compromise at all is what we should remember. Right, doctor? So if you are with me, count yourself how many days I am with Dr. Murali Bharadwaj and the team on the YouTube along with all other classmates in the chat. If you are there with us constantly for at least 6 months, any entrance in the exam you will get it. Right? आपको कुछ भी करने का जरूरत नहीं है. Just evening 5:30, get on to the YouTube and then participate. Start answering questions. After the class is over, 4 or 5 topics पढ़ लो यू मेडिको ऐप के अंदर. बस more than enough. That is the tiffin box for you to finish your hunger and then win the exam. Now, doctor, it is myokainia is the name given for the flickering is what you need to remember. इनहिबिटरी पोस्ट सिनेप्टिक पोटेंशियल किसके वजह से होता है? इनहिबिटरी Post-synaptic potential. Question number 242, shoot your answer. Yes. Yes, definitely. Every day we will have mnemonics, 5-6 mnemonics every day, no worries. So, Pradeep and Mulai are proposing chloride transport. Absolutely. Chloride being a negative ion, it leads to development of hyperpolarization is what you need to remember. Young Helmholtz theory. What does it deal with? Young Helmholtz theory deals with what? Question number 243. Should your answer, doctor? Yes. Young Helmholtz theory deals with what? 243. I can see D versus A. D versus A. That's right. So, Chirag Goyal, Saurav Ray, etc., they're all saying color vision. Absolutely. So, Ishihara chart. Have you heard that? Ishihara chart is classically used Ishihara. Ishihara chart is the one which is used to detect the color vision. Test the color vision is what you need to remember. Diacritic notch, जो आपको aortic the pressure inside the aorta में diacritic notch किसके वजह से होता है? What is that particular event which lead to diacritic notch is my question to all of you. 244. Please mention the question number. Yes, doc. Very good to see 68 online students. Right. So, even if you are confident that you are cracking in the NEETPG 2019, still you can always be comfortable every day attending the evening session, so that another 2-3 days में story निकलेगा, कोई बात नहीं, but you are mentally prepared both for two kinds of surprise. Remember, doctor, you may be thinking I did not do very good, you don't know what is the competition going to be, and then you think that I don't get, and it may come. Similarly, you may be thinking that I did very well, yeah, but suddenly competition is very tight and then you may get a not that good a rank. Anything can happen. इसलिए I love what Amitabh Bachchan says in one of the wonderful interviews, the words of his father. जो हम चाहते वो हो गए तो अच्छा है, अगर नहीं हुए तो और अच्छा है, क्योंकि अगर वो नहीं हुए तो there is some divine force which is trying to make it to not happen what you wish to happen, and that is actually leading you into a bigger possibility, and never the divinity which has produced you, that invisible divinity, will do something to destroy you. It is showing a different path. So that is the reason आपका ख्वाहिश कामयाबी हुए तो बहुत अच्छे बात है, अगर नहीं हुए तो भी you are heading for a bigger challenge of life. Life is after all a compendium of challenges is what you have to remember, right? So diacritic notch, closure of the aortic and pulmonic valves, they are the ones which are responsible for the diacritic notch is what you need to remember. Parahemophilia is deficiency of what? Is my question to all of you. Should you answer, doctor? Parahemophilia is a deficiency of what? 245. Aryan Kumar is proposing von Willebrand disease. Maunika, Sudha Shukla, Prachi, Irfan and everybody. So, it is not von Willebrand disease, doctor. Factor 5 deficiency को कहते हैं parahemophilia is what you have to basically remember. Okay. Now, about the various hormones, this question we already are done with. Yes. Yes, I think we are done with all the questions. So, in this today's quiz, how many of you got more than 10 mistakes? Anybody had more than 10 mistakes? आपको free coaching दे देंगे हम, right? Already free है, यू मेडिको का सब्सक्रिप्शन भी फ्री दे देंगे अगर आपको more than 10 mistakes आए तो, right? I don't think you got more than 10 mistakes. So, oh, MedQuest is always ready for a free subscription. Very good, very good. But MedQuest was doing very good. I know, right? Sudha, come on, don't break my heart. Okay. So, let's make the today's class. So, we had been discussing the high yield topics. 65 high yield topics are there in physiology, from which you get the 10 to 15 questions. Today's topic is hormone receptors. Based on the NEETPG questions, let us see what examiner is expecting from us. Which is not a peptide hormone is the examiner's question. Out of all this, enkephalin, serotonin, neuropeptide, they are all peptide but not somatostatin. So fundamentally, hormones are divided into peptide hormones and steroid hormones. Then, among the peptide hormones, they have a receptor on the cell membrane, and some of them will enter into the nucleus after forming a hormone receptor complex. So, this is the peptide hormone, this is the receptor, this is the signal transduction, and ultimately this is how the cellular response comes. So, if you look at TRH, growth hormone releasing hormone, vasopressin, insulin, corticotropin, thyrotropin stimulating hormone, they're all the classical examples of the peptide hormones is what you have to basically remember. Now doctor. Which is not a glycoprotein by structure. FSH, LH, TSH, they're all classically the glycoprotein, but not the growth hormone. Now, if you look at the various glands, pituitary hormones, some are somatotropic hormones, growth hormone, prolactin, placental lactation. Some of them are glycoprotein hormones, which classically belong to the group of glycoprotein hormones. Luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, chorionic gonadotropin, and thyroid stimulating hormone. These are all considered to be glycoprotein hormones. Now you know very well, examiner, इतना miserly है, इतना finest detail के लिए भी वो आप में देख रहा है, इसलिए अपन क्या करेंगे, बुक मार्क करेंगे इस स्लाइड को यू मेडिको ऐप के अंदर, वो नोटिफिकेशन दे देगा, एक दो मर्तबे और एक बार उसको देख लिए तो आपके याद में रह जाएगा. So that's the reason, bookmark this slide in the U-Medico app. Then 3 hormones are produced from a common precursor called pro-opiomelanocortin, POMC. What are they? ACDH, MSH and lipotropin. These are the 3 things. इनका common mother कौन होता है? POMC is what you have to remember. Which of these act on the tyrosine kinase receptor is my question to all of you. Insulin, basically. So, hormones which utilize the cyclic AMP, tyrosine kinase, you should be very sure. So, what are the hormones that utilize cyclic AMP? This is the mnemonic of the day. This slide you have to bookmark it and set up a reminder notification in the U-Medico app. You can remember flat cham. So flat होता है FSH, LH, ACDH, TSH, cham. CRH, HCG, A is ADH, M is MSH, P is PTH. These are all the hormones that utilize the cyclic AMP is what you need to remember. Additionally, even GHRH, growth hormone, releasing hormone, and glucagon, even they also use the cyclic AMP as a secondary messenger. So flat champ cyclic AMP कैसे भी आप रिमेम्बर करना पड़ता. cyclic AMP साइकिल है ना, so साइकिल का क्या होता है, चैंपियनशिप होता है. तो फ्लैट चैंप होता है cyclic AMP. What are those hormones that utilize inositol triphosphate as a secondary messenger? Goat hag is the one, some stupid way to remember, but it's a very popular thing in all the USMLE students. But entrance में Indian entrance, Indian MLE है ना हमारा NEETPG, इसमें भी यही पूछता है IP3 कहाँ है, किसका है, secondary messenger. Sometimes we feel, do we need to know all these things to become a cardiologist? Right? We don't use them anywhere. We read so much botany, phloem, coelom, Solanaceae, Brassicaceae, Liliaceae. Oh my God. Where do you use it when you become doctor? So, be sportive when you are preparing for exam. Exam has nothing to do with your knowledge. Exam, NEETPG में सक्सेस के लिए खाली दो चीजें. Focus. Your brain is very limited. You have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, you have to manage them, you have to manage family, you have beautiful life to live. बीच में NEETPG entrance भी है. So limited brain. So better read limited things, finite things. And if you read finite things, you get time to revise some of them, and your knowledge is precise. So focus is most important. Second, perseverance. Don't do like 2 days, 3 days you read, and after that 1 week depression, पढ़ा भी नहीं, और उसके बाद कोई बोला कि भाई DNB में वो करो, नहीं तो कहीं ड्यूटी डॉक्टर का काम करो. Another 1 week I went here and there. Once more I started opening the books. Don't do that. You work as a duty doctor in a hospital. You do anything in the world. Give 3 to 4 hours of your time for the PG entrance preparation for 6 months. बस खाली 6 months पूछ रहा हूँ. You will get the seat. Every day evening 5:30 to 8, we will all be together to inspire you, and always in your pocket रहेगा You Medico app. जब भी आपको टाइम मिले कुछ वीडियोस को आप प्लान कर लो, मैं रिवाइज कर लेता हूँ. जब भी चाहिए क्विज प्ले करो. Then you are all equipped to face the entrance. Every Sunday grand test होता है NEETPG का. YouTube में डिस्कशन होता है, अटेंड करो. Every Saturday subject test and discussion होता है, attend करो. So if you make this a part of your internal organ system, 6 months of time दे दो, बस आपको मिल जाएगा. That is my deal to all of you. Right? Now, goat hag, GnRH, oxytocin, ADH, TRH, histamine, angiotensin 2 and gastrin. They use IP3. Which hormones use intracellular receptor? Cell के अंदर. You all know steroid hormones पूरे nucleus को जाके काम करेगा. Estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, aldosterone, progesterone. इसमें कुछ भी टेंशन है, इसका निमोनिक का जरूरत नहीं है एक्चुअली. Additionally, you should remember thyroid hormones, vitamin D also. They use the intracellular nuclear receptor is what you have to ultimately remember. Right. Now, tyrosine kinase का इस्तेमाल करने वाले हार्मोन्स क्या होता है? Tyrosine kinase का. Piglet is a way to remember. Prolactin, the immunomodulators like IL-2 and IFN, interferon, growth hormone, granulocyte colony stimulating factor, erythropoietin, thrombopoietin, ये सब चीजें They use the tyrosine kinase is what you have to basically remember, and they act with a JAK-STAT pathway is what I want to underscore to all of you, right? Now, the cyclic GMP, classical question. Cyclic AMPinase, cyclic GMP is a secondary messenger for which important hormones? Nitrous oxide, atrial natriuretic peptide, brain natriuretic peptide. ये तीनों के लिए cyclic GMP is the secondary messenger is what you need to remember. Then intrinsic tyrosine kinase pathway कहाँ रहता है? Insulin, then fibroblast growth factor, epidermal growth factor, insulin growth factor. ये चीजों के लिए intrinsic tyrosine kinase is a secondary mediator is what I want to underscore to all of you. So insulin, tyrosine kinase. You should never do a mistake in tomorrow's exam. These are the few PPT slides, doctor. आप bookmark करो, revision कर लो, you medico आपके अंदर. So doctor, cyclic AMP is used. अभी तो खेल का rules पता चल गया आपको. More or less the examiner every year will be asking one question. Cyclic GMP कहाँ, cyclic AMP कहाँ, IP3 कहाँ, intracellular receptors कहाँ होता है, यही question routine पूछता है, right? So now you should answer. Estrogen uses nuclear receptor. It is not the cyclic AMP. LH, FSH, glucagon, they're all flat champ is what you need to remember. Now, which of the hormones have the receptors on the plasma membrane of on the target tissues is a very, very important question. So, you should remember estradiol acts at the level of the nucleus, the nuclear membrane. So, that is the reason estradiol is except, but epinephrine, glucagon, thyrotropin, they all basically act on the plasma membrane is what you have to ultimately remember. So, there are two major plasma membrane hormone receptors, G protein coupled heptahelical receptor which is glucagon, tyrosine kinase receptor is insulin is what you have to ultimately remember. Steroid receptor superfamily, what are all the things that belong to it? Classically, vitamin D3 belongs to steroid receptor superfamily. So you should remember cortisol receptor, estrogen receptor, progesterone, vitamin D, thyroid hormone, retinoic acid receptor, ये सब चीजों को मिला के आप कहते हैं intracellular nuclear receptor superfamily is what you have to ultimately remember. Endothelium derived relaxing factor. How does it lead to vasodilatation? What is the secondary messenger is the examiner's question. Cyclic GMP इस्तेमाल करने वाले nitrous oxide है ना, ANP, BMP, nitrous oxide and all cyclic GMP. So nitrous oxide is the one which is associated with EDRF. Sildenafil, cyclic GMP, you should remember. So typically the endothelium derived relaxing factor, nitrous oxide uses the cyclic GMP. Galactopoiesis होता है milk का production, and after the milk is produced, the milk need to be released. So to release the insulin, the milk, you require the oxytocin, but to produce the milk, you require the prolactin is what you need to remember. So if you look at the lactation, mammogenesis, lactogenesis, galactokinesis, galactopoiesis, involution, that is how you divide the lactation into the various stages is what you need to remember. So during the pregnancy, progesterone mainly क्या करेगा? It makes the alveolar size and the size of the lobes to grow. Estrogen, it stimulates the milk duct system to grow and differentiate and deposits the fat. Prolactin, it contributes to the increased growth and differentiation of the alveolar and ductal structures, preparing the mother to lactate after the delivery. So that is the function. You should know galactopoiesis के लिए prolactin चाहिए and produced milk को release करने के लिए oxytocin चाहिए. That is what you need to remember. Cyclic AMP is not a mediator in mood situation. Once more आप देख लिया ना? Examiners obsessive questioning every NEETPG exam में एक हार्मोन रिसेप्टर के ऊपर होता है. Most high yielding topic. This is some 7th or 8th most high yielding topic. So out of the 60 topics, at least the top 30 topics आप ध्यान दे के पढ़े तो 20 questions जो आते हैं physiology में garma garam, you can answer 20 out of 20 and come out of the exam hall. There will be no surprise. So doc, insulin uses the tyrosine kinase, whereas TSH, FSH, calcitonin, they all use the cyclic AMP is what need to be remembered. So flat champ, FSH, LH, ACTH, TSH, CRH, calcitonin, HCG, ADH, MSH, PTH, they all utilize the cyclic AMP is what I want to underscore. Now, which is that placental hormone which is not a protein is my question to all of you. So, HCG, HPL, they are all proteins. Progesterone is a steroid, as all of you know. Where does ADH primarily produce from? It is a supraoptic nucleus. ADH is primarily secreted. So, supraoptic nucleus produces the vasopressin. Paraventricular nucleus produces the oxytocin, and that is being released using the hypothalamo-hypophyseal tract into the posterior pituitary, which is only a storage house. Unlike the anterior pituitary where the actual tayari hota hai, posterior pituitary is only a storage house. Actually, supraoptic is produced using the vasopressin. Paraventricular is producing the oxytocin is what you need to ultimately remember. Oxytocin का effects क्या होता है? What is all the things that oxytocin is doing? It leads to ejection of the milk, induction of the labor, and it goes and acts on the B1 receptors. They are all the true statements, but not milk production is what you should remember. Insulin, how does it increase the uptake of the glucose? Where does it increase the uptake of the glucose? All tissues, like most of the tissues, depend upon insulin for glucose uptake. But erythrocytes, brain, there are certain locations, key locations where insulin is not used for the uptake of the glucose. Now comes the favorite question of the examiner. What are the various GLUT receptors? Where are they located? This is another painful slide you have to remember, doctor, like you remember the botany and the formulae in physics. Which GLUT receptor, where is it located, is the favorite area of the examiner. Most cells में GLUT1 रहता है, it helps in the basal glucose uptake. Liver, beta cells of pancreas, hypothalamus, basolateral membrane of the small intestine, इन सारे चीजों में GLUT2 होता है. And it is a carrier for glucose and fructose into the liver and intestine. GLUT3 is located in the neurons, placenta, testis and brain. GLUT4 is there in the skeletal and cardiac muscle and fat. Skeletal, cardiac muscle and fat tissue, adipose tissue mein GLUT4, this is the one which is controlled by the insulin, is what you have to basically remember. GLUT5, it is typically involved in the fructose transport, and it is there on the mucosal surface of the small intestine, sperm and the kidneys. Kidneys में क्या होता है? GLUT5 is the one which you will come across. So doctor, we will develop some mnemonic, some funny way to remember this, and then I will put it up. But this is one slide. You are all going to promise me that you are going to bookmark, set up notification for on the UMedico app to do the revision. So one classical thing in all medical colleges, very famous mnemonic about blood receptors is Rani Lakshmi Bhai made the India proud. Rani होता है RBCs में GLUT1. Lakshmi is liver GLUT2. Bhai is GLUT3 brain. Made is muscle and adipose is GLUT4, which is insulin dependent. India is insulin. Then GLUT5 is intestine. India is intestine. What is GLUT5? Rani Lakshmi Bhai made India. याद रखे तो GLUT receptor की याद भी रहेगा. But this is one question frequently asked. Where are the GLUT receptors located? You have to be 100% sure, doctor, for the tomorrow's exam. Very good to see 66 online students. I want you more and more to attend this live, free, online streaming session every day. Supraadrenal chromaffin cells, what do they produce? They all produce catecholamines, all of you know very well. Absorption of calcium is dependent on vitamin D. Vitamin D, what is the most active form of the vitamin D is my question to all of you. It is the calcitriol. When the ultraviolet B radiation falls, 7-dehydrocholesterol become free vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 typically lead to formation of the calcitriol in the kidney. So 7-dehydroxycholesterol to free vitamin D3 to vitamin D2 to the calcitriol, which is the most effective way by which the vitamin D can act in order to lead to the calcium absorption. What are the preventing factors for the calcium absorption? What are the inhibitory factors for the calcium absorption is one of the favorite questions of the examiner. So it is the phytates which are considered to be inhibitory. Vitamin D, parathormone, acidic environment in the stomach, milk mein lactose, amino acids like lysine and arginine, exercise, they all increase the absorption of calcium. आप exercise करो, दूध पियो, और they are all increased calcium absorption. Then what decrease? Oxalic acid, phytic acid, excess phosphorus, stress, caffeine. Coffee ज़्यादा पिए तो calcium absorption effect हो जाएगा. And lack of exercise, vitamin D deficiency. Constantly sitting in reading room and preparing for the NEETPG will make you vulnerable if you don't expose yourself to the sunlight. Is what you need to remember. What decreases the vitamin D is a very, very important question. So it is the fat malabsorption which decreases the vitamin D absorption. Now what is the relation between insulin and glucose concentration? So whenever the glucose, after you eat the food now, the glucose enters into the plasma, and that plasma glucose goes to the beta cells of pancreas, which will sense that glucose levels are high, and they start releasing the insulin. But how will be the relation? So typically if you take blood glucose, अगर x-axis में ले लिया, और insulin concentration in the plasma को y-axis में ले लिया, typically it will be a sigmoidal curve like this is what you have to basically remember. Insulin mediated transport of the glucose, what is true? So you should remember the insulin mediated transport of the glucose skeletal muscle में होता है, cardiac muscle में होता है, adipose tissue में होता है, और GLUT4 is associated with the insulin mediated glucose uptake is what you need to remember. Beta subunit of the insulin receptor, what does it bind to? So what does it bind? It is the tyrosine kinase, which is the receptor for the insulin, is what you should remember. Is there any relation between the average glucose value and the HbA1c levels? Lot of time patients come with you and give you a report. डॉक्टर साहब जरा देखिए ना, मेरा ग्लाइकोसिलेटेड हीमोग्लोबिन 7 बोलते हैं, 7 से बढ़कर 8 है, 9 है, 8, 9. What is my chances? First, you should remember glycosylated hemoglobin reflects the past 6 weeks of control of the glucose, and there is a correlation between last 6 weeks में how much was the average glucose levels versus the glycosylated hemoglobin levels of the patient. So what is that relation? अगर HbA1c 4 है तो average blood glucose 68, 5 means 97, 6 means 126, 7 means 152, and 8 means 183, 9 means 212, 10 means 240. So doctor, this is one slide which you need to bookmark, because examiner is very sure diabetes is a very high yield topic, insulin is a very high yield topic. Examiner has a tendency to repeat and throw another question or the same question in the next exam. So doctor, it is, suppose if it is 8%, it is nearly 183. 9 bole to 212, that means nearest is 200. That is all the story of hormones and receptors. The next topic, very high yield topic for the today's evening, is sensory cortex. Let's talk about this important topic, doctor. Sensory cortex. Always neurophysiology. Neurophysiology, neuroanatomy में अगर आपका basic strong है तो neurology becomes a cakewalk, and ultimately in entrance में there will be at least 8 to 9 questions that ultimately come from neurology, neurophysiology, neuropathology subdivision. Right? Now, sensory cortex. How is the cortical representation of the body in the cerebral cortex? Our cerebral cortex recognizes, a part of it recognizes, this is the finger area, this is the face area, this is the leg area, this is the hand area, arm area, etc. So how is it represented? It is represented vertically is what you need to remember. So this is how toes, ankles, knees, etc., etc. Face has got a very big representation. थंब जो होता है ना, अंगूठा छाप बोलते हैं ना, मगर अंगूठे के लिए major representation रहता है brain में. Everything, for doing anything, you require the thumb. Somatosensory area 1. First of all, what is it? And largest representation of the somatosensory area 1 in the brain में किसका होता है? It is the head. All senses of the head are most represented parts in the somatosensory cortex is what you need to remember. So if you look at the somatosensory cortex, doctor, head, tongue, lips, eyes, oh my God, such a big area they took over. So real estate जो होता है बहुत बड़ा होता है आपके हेड के लिए, somatosensory cortex में is what you need to remember. Now tactile sensation, touch sensation, the entire brain is mapped into various areas of area 1, area 2, area 3. Broadband को कुछ भी काम नहीं था. So broadband areas है. Broadband ये area ये करेगा, वो area वो करेगा बोले तो एग्जामिनर छोड़ता है. On these areas, he keeps pushing one question regularly. So you should be very sure. So doctor, tactile sensation के लिए area 3 is the most important area. So how many broadband areas are there, doctor? 52 areas in the cerebral cortex are all broadband areas. A broadband cortical functional areas को how are they divided? Motor areas, sensory areas, association areas. That's how you divide. So area 4 is called The primary motor area. 2-3 points about each of these areas. You should be very good. One question आएगा. First of all, what is that area number? Area 4 is called primary motor area. It is located in the precentral gyrus. There is one central sulcus. उसके आगे जो होता है precentral gyrus, उसके पीछे होता है postcentral gyrus. So precentral होता है motor, postcentral होता है sensory, cortex is what you need to remember. So all your motor homunculus is represented, and it controls the voluntary movements on the contralateral side. So right motor cortex controls left, and left motor cortex controls the right side of the body. इसलिए ये एरिया 4 जो है प्री सेंट्रल है, अगर इसको कुछ हो गए तो if something happens to this, how will be the presenting features? Flaccid paralysis, areflexia, Babinski, etc. will happen. Then there are premotor areas 6 and 8. What is their importance? Area 6 is for the skillful acts, like the programming skills, जो होता ना, like some people are very good in playing violin, some are good in painting. Some people, without a little shivering also, they can be able to operate, go to the finest places and come back. So, skillful. And the upper part of this area 6 is associated with writing. It is also called लिखने वाला center होता है area 6. If you are good in writing, you become a great person. 6-figure salary कमाता है ना? So जो 6-figure salary लाखों में कमाता है, उसको check लिखने के लिए writing होना चाहिए ना? That way you can remember. 6 is writing area. Area 8 is also called frontal eye field, and it regulates the voluntary conjugate movements. So if you go to the Kerala dance now, so tick, 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 the eyes will be gyrating. So they are all voluntary conjugate movements. Area 8 is Kerala. You can remember, it is a frontal eye field. Then you have a supplementary motor area in continuation of the area 6. On the medial surface में area 6 will continue down, and that forms a supplementary motor area. इसका काम क्या होता है? It controls the complex movements, and we always have a urge to move. हमको movement के लिए थोड़ा urge होता है. So urge to move, controlling the complex movements, that is a function of supplementary motor area. So echinacea and upper motor neuron type of paralysis, ये सब चीजें होते हैं अगर एरिया 6 का मीडियल सरफेस में सप्लीमेंट्री मोटर एरिया को कुछ हो गया. Then in the prefrontal area you have the areas 9 to 12. That is a प्रीमोटर एरिया है ना 6, 8, उसके आगे आए तो आपको 9, 10, 11, 12. So ये सब चीजें क्या करते हैं? Human beings are different from monkeys and chimpanzees. Why? Because इनका prefrontal area हमारा humans का बहुत well developed होता है. Why? The area 9, area 10, area 11, 12 is सब well developed in the human beings is what you have to remember. So the depth of the feeling, sometimes you feel intensely happy, intensely sad, or depth of the feeling. Similarly, mature judgments, abstract thinking, looking at some puzzle you will say answer is this. Abstract thinking and the foresight. You will anticipate something is going to happen. You will be very tactful. ये सब चीजें करने वाला होता है prefrontal area, which is very well developed in the human beings, is what you need to remember. Then what are the sensory areas is my next question to all of you. You have a primary sensory area, secondary sensory area, sensory association area and a higher association area. That is how you broadly divide the various sensory areas in the sensory cortex. इन चीजों के बारे में 2-3 comment you should remember, frequently asked in the exam. So in the primary sensory area, it is interdivided into somesthetic area. How many sensations that you have? Touch, pressure, pain, all these things are called somesthetic. Then you have special senses like vision, audition. So visual area, auditory area, somesthetic area, that's how you divide the primary sensory area into. Now, let us first talk about somesthetic area. Area 3, 1, 2 are basically somesthetic area hota hai. It is in the post-central gyrus and it localizes, analyzes, discriminates between the various modalities of cutaneous senses. Heat ko heat ke jaise, pain ko pain ke jaise, touch ko touch ke jaise. Why are you able to perceive and feel the modalities? Because of this somesthetic, primary somesthetic area. Similarly, there is a sensory homunculus, just like motor homunculus, somatotopically arranged, and the lower part of the post-central gyrus, a sensory somesthetic area कहाँ है? Post-central gyrus में है. इसका lower part में आपको taste center होता है. Taste is also another special sense, no? It is a part of the somesthetic area's extension. And that is the area of 43 होता है taste sensation. 3, 2, 1 is the somesthetic area. You should remember touch, vibration, pressure, pain. All these are handled by the primary somesthetic area. And lower part of the post-central gyrus में taste center रहता है. That is the place where you have area 43 is what you need to remember. Now, if you look at the primary somesthetic area, in the primary somesthetic area, there is something called paracentral lobule. The primary somesthetic area is post-central gyrus. इसमें you have a paracentral lobule. Why is it important? Whenever your bladder is distended, the distension of the bladder is reported to the, it is all locally controlled by your spinal cord level only, micturition, everything. But in turn, that lower micturition centers in the sacral plexus are controlled by the central areas which are located in the paracentral lobule, which gets the information of the bladder and rectal distension is what you need to remember. Then you have secondary somesthetic area, which is also called the supplementary area. Somesthetic primary एक होता है and secondary somesthetic area होता है. So where is this located? This posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus. You have the lateral sulcus, no? Lateral sulcus का posterior पीछे होता है, anterior भी होता है. पीछे part of the posterior ramus of the lateral sulcus is the one which is typically represented by the supplementary somatosensory somesthetic area. It receives the pain sensation and mainly pain sensation is what you have to remember. Then there are two areas which are called area 5, area 7, which are somesthetic association areas. They are called as. वो कहाँ है? आपको सेंट्रल गैरस है, उसके आगे प्री सेंट्रल गैरस में मोटर है, पोस्ट सेंट्रल गैरस में सेंसरी है एंड पोस्ट सेंट्रल गैरस के पीछे क्या है? वहां होता है somesthetic association areas. The 5 and the 7 is what you need to remember, and this is typically the parietal lobule. Superior parietal lobe is a location where you have somesthetic association areas is what you need to remember. Then there are some higher association areas of the somatic senses, right? Bhavyashri is asking, sir, based on what Brodmann areas are divided? Brodmann को कुछ टाइम पास नहीं था, वो बैठ के एक इलेक्ट्रिकल सिग्नल लेके यहाँ लगाओ क्या हो रहा है, यहाँ लगाओ क्या हो रहा है बोल के देख रहे. That's how he mapped the entire brain. This is for pain, this is for touch, this is for audition, this is for taste, और उसका नाम लगाया और नंबर लगाया. ये नीट पीजी एग्जामिनर को भी टाइम पास नहीं होता. Each of these areas, which is auditory area, which is visual cortical area, which is Brodmann area, Wernicke's area, वो नंबर क्या है बोल के पूछता. So that is the whole challenge of it. Yes, very good. Monica is saying, sir, you dealt this like a cakewalk. Definitely. Now it is a snow walk. पहले बार जो भी चीज होता है ना डॉक्टर, अद्भुत दिखता है, बाद में रूटीन हो जाता. Next, it will go and sit in your brain forever, and then you will reproduce in the exam. You have to pass through all these things. There is no other way. If you keep regretting, अरे मेरे फिजियोलॉजी डेज में क्या किया रे, कुछ भी मालूम नहीं है रे मुझे, ब्रॉडबैंड एरिया, अरे इतना है रे उतना है रे बोल के सोचे तो, कल पढ़ेंगे परसों पढ़ेंगे बोल के छोड़ दिए तो नहीं होता. So there are certain things examiner is very sure of asking, and you should be doubly sure of answering, and that is my whole purpose, to make you the experts in that. So doctor, supramarginal gyrus, few more things are there, just hold with me, a bit of patience, and after this is over, all these PPT slides are uploaded into the UMedico app. You can bookmark it, rewind, revise, and then internalize this concept. Okay, right. So supramarginal gyrus is area 40, and this is very well connected to the area 5 and 7. And अगर ये supramarginal gyrus जो area 40 है, अगर इसको 40 को कुछ हो गया तो क्या होगा? There will be a tactile agnosia. That is, it is called asterognosis. Patient के palm में एक सर्कुलर ऑब्जेक्ट लगा के आंख बंद करके बोलो क्या है तेरे हाथ में, बोले तो he can't tell whether it is circular or whether rectangular, small or big. So there is tactile agnosia, tactile aphasia. So these are the things that occur whenever area 40 is involved. This is what you need to remember. अभी आ गया visual areas. What are the numbers that you should remember? There is a primary visual area, visual association area, and higher visual association area. Oh my God, 3 numbers. 17 है doctor, primary visual area, right? Until 18 you are called, you are adult, you are not permitted to watch adult movies, right? Nowadays it doesn't apply, even a 10-year-old also is watching anything. So, vision, don't watch 18 years, below that 17, or वो याद रखो. Then you have visual association areas which are 18 and 19, typically in the occipital lobe. Then higher visual association area is called area 39. So 39, 17, 18, 19. ये है doctor, you are able to see now occipital lobe में, this is something associated with the vision is what you have to remember. So the visual association areas are area 18 and 19. So there is a parastriate area, peristriate area, which are the visual area 2 and visual area 3. So इनका function क्या होता है? Area 18 and area 19, they are basically called the occipital eye field. And we have certain conjugate movements that occur involuntarily, right? Those involuntary conjugate movements. Voluntary conjugate movements, who controls? Pons में you have a peripontine reticular formation, right? So that is something you should remember, voluntary conjugate. PPRF, medial longitudinal fasciculus, internuclear ophthalmophagy, वो सब voluntary conjugate movements के लिए. Involuntary conjugate movements के लिए, what are you going to remember? You should remember the visual association area 18 and 19. Right? Auditory areas क्या क्या होता है, उसका नंबर क्या क्या होता है, हम सब याद रखना पड़ेगा. Very happy to see 70 online students. बहुत खुश हो गया मोगेम्बो. So from tomorrow onwards, I will give you one link of some of the videos posted on the Facebook. So that link I will be requesting you to put in all the groups wherever you are the members. That is how the students across the country will be able to know that there is a free session every day evening, and there is a community of students. Let us build a community of students every day participating in a discussion. So primary auditory area hota hai area 41, auditory association is in area 42, higher auditory association is area 22, is what you have to basically remember, the three areas for the auditory. Then some part of the cortex is associated with our psyche. Psyche में क्या होता है? Emotions होता है, memories होता है, forgettance होता है. You have to forget the ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. You have to dump them or get dumped. ये सब चीजें cortex में कहाँ चल रहा है? Psychic cortex. ये temporal lobe है ना डॉक्टर? Anterior part of this temporal lobe, हमारा पूरा psychiatric situation वहां बैठ गया. Memory for the present and past, dreams, hallucinations, auditory and visual, ये सब चीजें हमारा पागल खाना कहाँ है? दिमाग के अंदर, टेम्पोरल लोब के अंदर हमारा पागल खाना बैठा हुआ है. Then speech. Who is important for speech? It is the left cerebral hemisphere which is important for speech, regardless of whether you are right-handed, left-handed. Actually, left hemisphere is also called dominant brain or a talking brain. Right hemisphere is called a silent brain or a mute brain. Now, a dominant hemisphere, हमारे left hemisphere में, there are 4 speech areas. 3 are sensory and 1 is motor. So what are the sensory speech areas? Area 22 is also called auditory association area, which is Wernicke's. Area 39 is called visual association area. आप पढ़ने के लिए क्या आंखों से टेक्स्ट बुक को देखना है? You have to look into textbook and you need to read. MediQuest is asking, why don't you make one WhatsApp group for discussion, sir? There are thousands of students. Where will they sit in WhatsApp? You can do one thing. YouMedico app download करे तो आपको discussion forum मिलेगा. Discussion forum में जो भी doubt है लगाओ. Some other student will answer. Otherwise, one of our teachers are also part of it. They will answer your doubts on the YouMedico app's discussion forum. You can always participate, right? It is also like WhatsApp, where you can post something, people can reply, discussion forum. Now, area 40 is the higher association area for the somesthetic sense, and these 3 are called the speech's sensory areas. Then where is the speech's motor area? It is the Broca's area, which is area 44, and 45 is what need to be remembered. Now, suppose a child had a cerebral injury, left side hemisphere को कुछ हो गया, then God has given a beauty thing. Until 6 to 8 years, अगर आपका left brain को कुछ हो गया तो you won't become aphasic. All your speech functions of the left dominant hemisphere are transferred to your right hemisphere, even though you are a right-handed individual. That is what you need to remember. Then this area 22, 39, 40. Why will you remember? They are the 3 sensory speech areas. इसलिए you will remember that. So, doc, these 22, 39, 40, they receive the input which is coming from hearing, the vision, the touch, proprioception, and they all process it in the area 22 and they are projected to the Broca's area, that is the motor area. So accordingly, Wernicke, the comprehension area, and the Broca's, which is the motor area, right? They both are connected very well. After the comprehension and processing is done, then the information is passed on to the Broca's, which is the motor area, is what need to be remembered. So where is Broca's located? It is the inferior frontal lobe where it is located. Then you are having the posterior speech cortex where the Wernicke's is located. This is the primary visual cortex and this is the somatic sensory cortex. So somatic sensory visual, then Broca's and the Wernicke's, they are all very well connected, so that your vision, your touch, your somatic sensations, they all have something to do with what you speak, is what you need to basically remember. So that is the story of the various areas, doctor. Thanks for the patient listening. Torture program is over. Only thing is you need to do the revision. That is important. पहली बार समझ लेना, एक पेपर के ऊपर लिख लेना what are the areas, snap करना, right, and reminder में set कर लेना. That is important. Now doctor, which sensation is most affected by the cortical lesion is my question to all of you. Whenever cerebral cortex को कुछ हो गया तो proprioception is the most affected one. Broca's area of the speech is for what? All of you know it is the motor area of speech. Wernicke, kahan located? Wernicke is located in 22. 22. How will you remember? 22. Wernicke W कैसे दिखता है? V दिखता है. 22 भी 2 होता है. Don't remember 1 3 तो नहीं है. So 2 W में V रहेगा. So some stupid way to remember, but examiner is very sure that what is the area, what is the area typically is a common question. Precentral gyrus, motor area होता है ना, उसमें there is something called suppressor strip. So what is that suppressor strip is a very important question. Basically, this suppressor strip in the precentral gyrus motor area will lead to the inhibition of the stretch reflex. Stretch reflex is all locally mediated by the spinal cord. But centrally also there is a control on the stretch reflex. That is what is done by the precentral gyrus ka suppressor area is what you need to ultimately remember. So doc, with this let us conclude, and tomorrow we will take a large discussion on suppressor strip, the other things about the motor areas, and another 4 to 5 topics in the physiology. So what is the whole idea of our evening meeting together? Our idea is, देखते देखते एम्स का नोटिफिकेशन आएगा, पीजीआई का नोटिफिकेशन आएगा, बहुत बिजी बन जाएगा. So at least you should have a goal that by May, let me finish all the 650 topics, do play the quizzes, get at least 8 out of 10 in the U-Medico quizzes, and then go through some of the key videos, previous video libraries. You should pick up every day 7-8 topics and make your preparation strong and robust every day. So join once more tomorrow, 5:30 to 7:30 or 8 with Dr. Murali Bhardwaj. Thank you.